Hey everyone, welcome back to Small Business Stories. And in the house today, we have got George Otel, the financing guy and founder of US Business Funding. And so you're thinking, this is probably a good time to listen in because who can't benefit from more tips on what to do with money, right? So, George, welcome to the show.
Hey, Lorlin, thanks for having me. I always appreciate hosting, being a guest on a podcast regarding the business. Business is not only my business, it's part of my life. And I'm a student of learning business and finance. So thanks for having me.
Well, it's great. I love having different guests because I always learn something. And I know our listeners do. I get a lot of comments. People are like, wow, that guest was great. I had no idea about X, whatever their swim lane was. And I do think in this era of AI advancing and just the complexities of the world, we need to be lifelong learners. What do you think?
Yeah, of course. It's being able to being able to adapt. It's a process of our system as humans. Basically, thousands of years we are able to adapt, and the ones that are able to adapt faster and more efficient are the ones that gonna get more benefits. So it's an open market, call it jungle or whatever. So it's part of our our couple hours a week. Put it towards the adaptation. What you're learning, what you see, everything is changing now, but we're able to adapt. So it's great.
I think it's really important. Bill Gates calls it the era of free intelligence. And it is. Like, I mean, I love looking at people's bookshelves. That's why I never show mine because I don't want people peeking in. But I see mindset. You've got Tony Robbins right behind your head there, and you've
Yeah, yeah,
got,
yeah.
right? And, all of these different books, Playing to Win. And it's all about taking that time, as you said, every week, maybe read a book. I try to read one per week. I know a lot of people, everybody complains, oh, I'm so busy, but try to read one per month or read a couple of articles in a week just to take in new information. So, since you're a book guy, I'm going to ask you what book are you currently reading, or which one do you just have to tell everybody, hey, you've got to read this one? What's your recommendation?
Psychology of Money. This one, Psychology of Money. This is a must. This is like the Bible of money. So it's because it's we have so many things that not it's basically 20, 30 years old ideas that works differently, but reading the book you'll see things through a different perspective, and it's kind of opens the like aha moment. So it's right now I'm reading a book, I forgot the name, Buy Back Your Time or something. So I'm looking to delegate more process in my business. So it helps me because it's a good problem to have. I got a lot of clients, and I'm trying to make sure the service we provide is efficient, and I focus more on strategic planning than just working in the business, which is good. It took me a couple of years to get to this point. Now you're moving to the next. So I read over 150 books on personal development and business, but now I read only the area that I'm looking to improve. So I take my journal like 6 months, 12 months. So in 6 months, I know what book I'm gonna read, or like kind of like the idea, like systems or marketing. And I had 2 years of marketing, so I'm good now. So you do 2 years of marketing, you'll get more leads than you can handle. So
Excellent. So that's really planful. Wow. I'm much more, I guess I'm proactive in a lot of things, but I'm very reactive when it comes to books. I always ask my guests, oh, what are you reading? What do you recommend? And then I add it to my list. Eventually, I do get to it, but I have a very long list because a lot of people recommend a lot of books. But I've never heard anyone answer the question by saying, yes, I am methodical about it and I have proactively planned the areas that I need to learn in 6 month or whatever increments. That's fascinating, George.
yes, yes, because uh, basically everything is in structure. Any business goes through the same process. You got to get the clients. I mean, you have a product or service, then how you advertise yourself. I did copy to basically explain what value we bring to the marketplace, and at the same time, I was building the system. So right now, I just need to delegate whatever I do. So the idea is like if I find someone that is gonna do 80% of what I do, will be great. So nobody's gonna do 100% because
No.
I'm the business owner, and nobody's gonna care. But if they do it 80%, it's perfect. So there's no perfection needed. Like I mean, 80% move to the next, and that's eventually they're gonna do whatever I do, and then I focus on strategic thinking. So
Well, you brought up a lot of concepts there. I'm going to unpack them one by one, kind of in reverse order. Hopefully, I remember them all. So, first, kind of the 80/20 rule. I agree. Even with AI and everything else, it's never going to replace 100% of how we think. Or if we bring a team on, they can't think and do the business the way that we do. So, I also think it's a rule that has to be applied where too many people emphasize getting to 99.99999% perfection before they launch or before they do anything. And I think if more small business owners thought about, yeah, if I could get it to the 80% and then go, I'd be better off. What do you think? What's your philosophy on that?
yeah, so for me, it's like I like to take a short time to kind of plan at the same time to test. Testing is like giving you data, like any marketing or whatever you do, testing. Like let's say you have a script calling the clients, or when somebody calls you, say 5 questions. And so for me, I have 10 minutes for each client. When I have after over 10 minutes, I try to kind of close the conversation, or because it's I can't talk 30 minutes with everyone. So the idea is like to have time dedicated, but that took me a couple of years of going back and forth. So with any business, it's a structure. It's a structure. So you go down, let's say the sale, the marketing, there is a structure. Okay, what we offering? What is the, let's say, the content pillars, basically focusing on talking about you doing, because if you don't talk about the services and products you offering, nobody knows about that. Maybe you have the best one, but nobody knows. And then the same thing with processing. So yeah, I used to be in this. I had a couple businesses myself, and I was trying to do everything. Now I'm trying to do as less as possible and to be more efficient, but at the same time to keep the quality, keep the quality. So it's
Yeah, that's a key thing. A lot of my clients talk about that same sort of problem that just everybody's overwhelmed. They're trying to do everything. But you brought up another concept I wanted to come back to, and you said, "Oh, it's taken me a few years." I think we've been fed this load of nonsense that overnight success. I just
yeah.
launched my business and like, woohoo, I couldn't keep up with the leads, right? I mean, what do you say to that?
Oh yeah. So I was nominated as the top commercial real estate influencer on LinkedIn like a couple days ago. I'm in the top 100. So last year I was not, but I took me 5 years of work, of experience, and 2 years of learning the copywriting so I can post. I do posting content and I engage in people. So it takes years. So for me it's like I'm over 30 now. So by 30, I was trying to get everything like if it takes 6 months, I want it in 3 months. I don't want to wait 6 months. Now, if it takes 1 year, I'm okay to go a year and a half. But like I want to give quality, and like it's a peace of mind and things gonna happen. Because I tell everyone, make sure you give yourself a chance to succeed. It's like don't force yourself, because you're not gonna succeed. I mean, it takes 9 months for the baby to develop. Why are you expecting like to be in 6 months? No, it's a process. So it's the same thing with the business, with anything. So if you take time, eventually the most patient people, they're gonna win. I mean, let's say with the even with the stock market, with the real estate building, with anything, whatever you do, it's a process. It's like, so it's just a process. Everything is a process. You just gotta give it time and put the work, because it's gonna happen. I mean, 30 minutes a day for 1 year, you're gonna do something better.
Right. Well, and congratulations on that nomination by LinkedIn. So that's phenomenal. But given that you are the financing guy and you raise the whole thing about like, oh, over time, let's get into a couple of things right here in your swim lane. Number one, what is the biggest financing mistake that most people make?
So there's many of them, but the first one is like, I love my local bank, my credit unions, but I like working with the brokers as well. So basically, people asking me like, what's the difference me going to the bank or coming to you? So we have over 1,000 lenders in basically in our database we work with. So you go to the bank, you have only one option, either yes or no. And if they say no, you freak out and say why? Because I have money,
Mhm.
I give you deposits and everything. But banks are risk reverse, and we right now are in uncertain times. And there is private lenders that they're willing to risk a little bit more, so they give you different options. It's more creative options. So the idea is like, I know who is lending right now, what works, what doesn't work. There's over 7,000 banks, and I know who is doing what and whatever you need. Because you love your local bank, you love the banker, but they may not be able to do it. Where if they do it, they may not be the best of doing what you planning to accomplish. So just ask for options, look for options. And the one mistake is like, just go and look for options, because like you need to have a couple options. That's the data. So what data do you have? Okay, three said no, one said yes. Okay, based on this, at least, okay, three said no, but at least they gave you some guidance. Hey, you can do this, that, come back in 3 months, I get you the money or something. So that's kind of the idea. And they come too late. Business owners, they came too late. I told them,
Mm.
make sure you look for funding when you don't need it. Because when you need it, it's either too expensive or you don't have enough time to get it, or it's you too late because of your situation. But eventually, as the business grows, your job as a CEO, as the owner, it goes more time to the financing side. How to get the cheaper money, access to the money, lines of credit. For example, lines of credit, I tell them you rather get it because you don't pay any interest if you have it, but you rather have it and not use it than need it and not have it. So
Right. Indeed, right? I mean, that's just it's so smart, but people don't do it. And now you've had tremendous success in real estate and finance on everything from small deals to tens of millions of dollars of deals.
yes.
So help make it relatable for our businesses who are on the smaller side, who are starting out, because that's where a lot of our listeners are. Talk to them about what are the things they need to think about if they need financing, how they should approach it. You said get options, but give them a little more structure about what they should do.
Yeah. So probably this is gonna be the most important lessons I supposed to respond to your first question. So the biggest misconception is out there. So all the business owner that they are paying rent for the property they using, if they're paying rent, 5,000, 6,000, whatever, for the business property, basically they pay for the mortgage and for the landlord vacation or retirement. So that's the idea. So there's those loans, the SBA loans, done by government, that you can buy any property that you occupy at least 51% with at least 10% down payment. I have options with 100%. So here's one of the latest deal with done. The client was paying $10,000 every month for rent. We got them qualified for 10% down. They had the money. Good thing they had the money, and now the mortgage is 9,000, so he's paying less and he owns the building. I mean,
Big
it's
win.
yeah, and you don't know until you go and check, and it doesn't cost you anything to check. Just a call with us, so in 10-15 minutes I have a better understanding of the business, and with no information, no asking for information, I present them, hey, you can do this, you can do that. And I mean, a lot of times clients like, wow, I never thought. And that's how it works, because it's I've been doing this for long enough to to know. And I'm part of the American Association of Commercial Finance Brokers, so basically I'm up to date of what's going on. If I have a deal that I have questions, I can basically ask the bank. So the bank's calling me saying, hey, I can do this, so I can offer you this. So it's right now. I mean, you go into your local bank, you have one option. You coming to me, I I do like 3 lines of text saying, hey, I have this deal, what you guys can do. And the bank's calling me, the banks that doing this every week, every month, and they say, hey, I've done this, I can do this. So that's the strategy. Because I mean, for me, for you, I'm like your asset. I have clients that any whatever's coming on the market, I send them that, and a lot of time they feel like this is like an advantage because like you have access to what's going on in the market. So why not? You want to have like the best accountant, you're gonna have the best finance guy, and look, you've been paying 5, 7, 10 years this rent. I mean, if you call me earlier, you could own the building for 5 years already. That has like a million or two already built up for you, at least in payments and appreciation.
Right. And I think you raise another thing. So you've talked a couple of times about ensuring that you deliver quality to your clients. And I want to dig into that because you said, oh, sometimes I just send my clients like, oh, hey, I heard about this or that or whatever. I do that too. Like, hey, I saw this article, even though my client hasn't paid me in a year, 2 years, whatever, but hey, I immediately thought of them. Like, this is something. And then they come back and go, wow, you're still thinking about me. You're adding that extra value, right? That little bit of quality that simply an AI tool or
Yep,
somebody that's just focused on the money and transactions can't
yep,
provide.
yep.
Talk to us about some of the other strategies that you do. Does it often lead to clients coming back for you
Yeah,
and
I
or coming to you?
many clients. I have clients. They started buying a couple pieces of equipment, like couple trucks, trailers. 2018, 2020. Now we got $3, $4 million deals over like last year because of the relationship. And I tell them, look, I mean, have you checked the market? So he's like, oh yeah, I checked, and your offer is the best. Because look, I mean, and it was a confirmation for them that I'm still doing much better because I participate in those banking meetings. We're doing a lot of calls. Even on Sunday we have weekly calls. What's going on in the market? What's going on in commercial real estate with multiple banks, hedge funds, and I talk with clients and I tell them, hey, we're expecting this. For example, right now the banks, they not freaking out, they not stressed, they well positioned. And if that the bank's not freaking out, why do I need to freak out? I mean, but when you're a business owner and you see all this news on headlines on the TV, it's shocking. So I tell people, try to don't watch TV and read more. Study financial markets or study whatever you feel a fear. Study that, and the more you study, the more you, because like first impulse of fear is when we don't understand, because our brain is like kind of like saving us from unknown, from scarcity.
Well, that's just it, right? The whole fight or flight, right? Like, what do we do? We've seen the stock market in the last couple of weeks, right? It's like this, it's like this, it's crazy, it's going off the charts, right off the screen here,
Yeah.
both directions. And so it's easy to look at those things and any as an investor or as a business owner and think, oh my God, what's next? I've been talking to a lot of entrepreneurs where they're really concerned because government contracts have ended. We've seen 5 billion lost to Deloitte and Accenture, and so what's that going to have as far as an impact downstream? And everybody's just kind of losing their minds. But I really like your philosophy. Just put your blinders on,
Yep.
stay in the lane, and just read and learn more. I think that's fantastic advice.
The beautiful thing, we went through COVID, so like here's your data. You have some data. I mean, 3 months later, everything was beautiful. I mean, it's the same thing now. I mean, on yesterday's call with the banks, one of the leader on the host on the conversation, he's like, "Hey, we may have this tariff solved faster than we believe, because like we don't need like 150 countries to deal with us to solve this problem. We just need like 10, 15 countries that we do the trade, and we're gonna come in line, and everything's gonna be good." So it's because when you're freaking out, you don't have energy to devote to the
Mhm.
positivity. So like you gotta be in balance, in neutral. Just keep it in neutral. Don't like. And one of my mentors, he is a huge trader, stocks and portfolio. He managed over $2 billion. So he's like, don't trust anything right now. He's like, don't trust anything. Question everything. That's how it is. Cause like, so it's it's like, don't give yourself time. Don't make like any impulsive decisions, because like you just take anytime I have like to make a finance decision, I give myself, hey, 24 hours, 36 hours, and I ask myself, did I took enough time to make sure I took the like a rational decision? If not, then take another day. So at the end of the day, I'm glad that I'm in United States and business is gonna be much better. And yeah, it's a little bit hot, but it's uh it's survivable. I mean, a lot of clients, not a lot, but a big percentage, they positive because they manufacturing everything here. So it's good and bad. So
Well, there's good and bad with everything, right? And so it's great instead that you have leads, but like you're saying, okay, if you don't have automation built in, how do you keep up with them? But then you're concerned about quality. And so you're constantly doing this as a business owner, right? Trade off this to get this, but then, oh, that's too far. It's constant.
yes, yes, it's constant. So I basically, if the whatever whenever you're moving, the things not falling apart, you're not moving fast enough. Because yeah, some things is gonna change, but if 80% of the things that are happening are going on, yeah, you're gonna miss some calls or emails or stuff. But overall, the idea is to stay focused, keep track, and readjust. I took weekends to study, to reanalyze, and to replan things that okay, from this week, what was going good, right? Double down on that. What was bad, take it off. Try to take it off. So that's look. If you do that every 2 weeks, in 3 6 months your business is gonna be much better, because like you stop doing the things that don't work, that loses your money or it's taking your energy. So
No, I get it. And so I'm going to actually ask you for advice, George. So you said that you've got this 10-minute appointment where you've got prospective folks coming in to learn about real estate and financing and other deals that you do within US business funding, right? Within your organization. I try to do that. I have a 15-minute window where I talk to small business owners who are overwhelmed. Many are in tears. They don't know what to do. They're not sure they can afford automation. They're afraid what the client experience is going to be, or they need grants. Oh, Laurelyn, please write us grants. But I can never keep it to 15 minutes. So 15 becomes 30. And then if I don't have another call at the 30, I'm trying to help them. And then we're into 45 minutes. And then I've given them all my advice. And most of them don't come back. Like they're like, great, you've told me everything I need to know. Thanks. I'm off to the races. And then I've given that 45 minutes, which I want to help other businesses, but I'm not getting the payback. How do I keep it tight
so
to
the
15
idea is
minutes?
like, first, if they came to you for advice, most likely they're not gonna do it the way you do it, number one, and
For sure.
they may
That's
go
where
and
the
waste
clients
more
that do
time.
come,
Yes, and
they're
then
very happy.
they're gonna waste a week or two, then they're gonna come back to you, because like you talking from the experience perspective, they just got this information, then they know they're gonna do it. So but at the same time, I'm trying to keep it short, and I tell them enough, but at the same time I don't want to give too much, because like they get confused what to do, what not to do. So I present them what's available, what they need to do, and give them some window opportunity. Hey, if you want to do, we do it. If no, then all the best, and call me when you need me. So that's kind of the idea. Keep it short and sweet, and yes or no. Because look, I mean, I can take so many days, but like my energy level gotta stay high, because it's
Right.
I gotta do create, and I have calls with banks every day. I have a podcast every other day, and business to run, family stuff, and and even though if I don't get any clients for a day or two or a week, there's so many things gonna go wrong with the existing clients, that they need funds or refinance or buy a new building, or buy a new business. So it's like, okay, I give you enough information for you to think to take action. Whenever you take action, we're moving next. So when you get started, then your client, then whatever it needs to be done is gonna be done. So it's at that point, it's like a trial. I give 10 minutes trial, you give it 45. So
Well, 45 is too much though, Lisa. I'm looking for tips like to condense it because I'm such a bleeding heart. I want to help the poor business owner. She's in tears. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be unfriendly. I don't want to be focused on the finances of it. But at the same time, every day I'm getting a couple of these calls. And then by the end of the week, I've spent a lot of time helping people who are desperate. And I feel good that I'm helping them. But at the same time, I'm not getting, the sales and the conversion on 100% of them. Of course, I do get some, but not 100%. So I'm thinking, oh, I've got to be better about it and tighter with the time and still give, but
Yeah,
also
yeah.
draw the line a little tighter.
You give, you give ideas, you give like the concept how it's gonna work, and give them a chance to understand it. Because I tell them, look, I'm willing to help you with two condition. If you want me to help you and you serious about it, because like I give you enough information that basically what's going on in the market, whatever you need to know. You may know it, you may not. Now I have the options to help you, so you decide. You do it with me or you do it with someone else, or you have the chance, and that's it. Because like I'm trying to be nice, but at the same time I'm trying to make people aware that I have so many things to do in a day and my time is limited. So that's why it's respectful. I give them value every time, and I don't charge them anything to just get like analysis of what's available in the market. And because of that, they respect me, and I respect them, they respect me. And yes or no, and moving next. That's business. It's a yes or no. It's if yes, we're moving next. If no, then I'll see you next time. So
Yeah, and I think at the risk of alienating my audience and stereotyping, I think men are generally better at doing that and having that tight and discreet sort of interaction than women are. We tend to be more emotional, right? And that can be a good thing. There's a lot of positivity
yeah,
related to that, right? All genders bring value
yeah,
and
yep.
all people bring value with their different perspectives. But I've always learned that men hire very slowly and fire fast. Women hire very fast and fire slowly, right? It's the complete inverse. And it relates even to this business thing. But I don't want to take us off on a tangent there. So, hey, listeners, I'm a STEMinist. I'm all there, but at the same time, right? We got to like recognize what we each can do and where we can do better. And that's an opportunity for continuous improvement for me. So, okay, as we're nearing the end of our podcast here, George, what advice would you like to offer people and say, hey, given this market, the volatility, the craziness, everything going on, what do you want to tell business owners?
Just don't watch too much news. Yeah, you gotta follow things. Focus on your business and look what's always look for those people, consultants, or like whatever who is actually doing the thing and who gets you the idea. Because like, look, I mean, my job is to 30% of my job to study, to analyze, to speak with the decision makers, and I just send it to my clients. I mean, you can follow me on LinkedIn. I post a lot of content, like real content, value, experience, and a lot of people. Like one of the ladies today, she's a commercial broker, and she's like, "Hey, George, I'm gonna save your post and send it to my clients because like so much value." I said, "You don't need to be a millionaire like a big corporation to buy your building and how to do it right." Because I help, restaurant owners, trucking companies, manufacturing, construction to buy those buildings and to do the equipment and to get access to that. So, I, for any situation, there is a solution. So many solutions. I just look, hey, what type of market we are in, what the tools we have available, or who has the tools, who do I know that may have the tools, and things gonna happen. Things
Very
gonna
good.
happen, and you just stay positive. Things gonna happen. Keep the good energy, and things gonna happen.
I agree. Surround yourself, right, with people that are uplifting you and have that higher level vibrational energy where we're like, yes, we can make a difference. Yes, we can get through this and get through it together. I totally agree. I've been distancing myself from negative and toxic
Yep, yep.
people, and oh my goodness, it's making such a
I
difference.
like it. You have this perspective. You taking off because I fire bad negative people because like, look, I mean, you don't bring energy. Like, I mean, I'm a
You drag
positive,
me down.
energetic person. Yeah, so I love you, but I block you.
Right. But toodles, right?
Yes.
Exactly. I'm the same way. Like I'm not an Eeyore, right? From like Winnie the Pooh. I'm the Tigger, right? Like, doo-doo. Anyway, getting off topic there. So how can people find you, George? LinkedIn, is that the best place?
Yeah, LinkedIn, George Otel or usbizfunding.net. It's my website. Find me on LinkedIn. Any questions, I'll be happy to assist you. Any ideas or whatever you want to do. It's a great time to be alive. AI, it's basically gonna help us. It's I call it like uh the revolution. It's like we evolved from the horse to the car, so now we're gonna evolve from like 20 tasks to do one task and do the prompts, and it's gonna be much easier and much better for us. And we're gonna have more time for to do whatever we want with who we want, whenever we want.
That's so key. So I've got our signature question here to close the podcast. So if I looked into your closet, and we're going to describe it to the people who are not viewing us on YouTube Midlife Success, but they're listening to us on Small Business Stories on their podcast streaming channel of choice. If we're peeking into your closet, you've probably got a lot of footwear there on the floor or on some shelves. What pair of sneakers, boots, whatever it is, are we looking at that screams, this is George Otel. This is my personality. What are we looking at?
The what I'm wearing,
The
the whole
shoes.
the shoes right now.
No, no. What
Okay.
kind of stuff? So a lot of people have different shoes. They've
So
got things and they say, this hiking boots, it's so me because it's rugged, it's broken, it's, whatever they
I
describe.
like
What
the
pair of footwear is
whatever
you?
it's easy for walking. So for my suits, like meeting suits, I even take those like soft shoes. Like if you look enough, you're gonna find whatever you feel. So I have so many. I mean, way too many. So, but the idea is to be comfortable, because like to be comfortable, looking good and comfortable for your toes. Because sometimes, I go to those conferences and like you gotta walk like 20,000 steps, and
Easy.
I had
Yeah.
like 20 miles in one day at the conference. Imagine that. Like, no, 20 kilometers, like going back and forth. Not 20 miles, but 20 kilometers. So,
That's still a lot. Having
yes.
walked in places like I've done the New York City Javits Center and Las Vegas, a convention center, and same thing. You look and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
26,000 steps. Like, oh my God. It's crazy. And your feet hurt. I've done it in heels though, which is never a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
With that, we're going to close our podcast. So thank you, George Otel, founder of US Business Funding. We really appreciate you being on the show today and giving our listeners some tips about the importance of positivity, the importance of taking your time back, and really just focusing on what you need to learn so that you can do better about it and not fear. Thank you, George.
Stay positive and see you next time.